Today's good question. Pam asks, what power, privileges, and duties do Kentucky constables have? Can they do traffic stops? The answer might depend on when they were elected. In Kentucky, a constable is an elected office. They can serve court papers like child support documents, subpoenas, and evictions. But as far as arrests and traffic stops, that will depend on their training and when they were first elected. A law passed last year requires new constables to undergo police training if they want to have the same powers as police. House Bill 239 became law without the governor's signature in 2022. Quote, after January 1, 2023, no constable who's elected for the first time shall be granted the powers generally applicable to peace officers and police officers unless the individual has been certified and maintains his or her certification. The Kentucky Constable Association has filed a lawsuit challenging that law. If you have a good question, you can email goodquestion@wkyt.com. I'll see you on WKYT Mornings.